When you're 13, expected to be 30, adapting to middle school can be rough. 13 and can't focus on bell work because the word work reminds you of how you're not old enough to do so. 13 and forced to sit through class when all you keep thinking about is how your mom doesn't have enough to manage the bills. 13 and struggling just to be a kid. 13 when your hips become a mudslide. Puberty is supposed to be the biggest challenge of 7th grade, but the eviction notice feels like the greatest breakout your body has ever felt. 13 and now I am your teacher. I watch you, stare into the air, ask you what's wrong. You don't speak. Instead, you sketch an image of yourself with a cape and says you can't relate. Sketch a picture of a girl in my class and tell me you can't relate. Says, miss, see, I really want to do the assignment, but a report card, well, it isn't a check. And an A will not stop my mom and I from being homeless, on the roll, but living out of a car. What is the simile for not having a place to live? Does it go something like as broke as or as helpless as? See, there is nothing figurative about the words notice to vacate in my story. Everything is literal. So she says, teacher, come on, teach me something real. Teach me something that can help stop the tears flow like Niagara Falls from mother's eyes. Teach me how to be 13 and old enough to save her. Teach me how to be braver than my situation. Teach me how to be fluent in the language of hope. Teach me how to persuade the landlord for another month. Teach me how to own my own property, how to be my own boss, to own, not to owe. CEO, as in the synonym for founder, is me. Teach me the meaning of an LLC. Teach me something real, because this class isn't doing it. What's good, everybody? This is Simba. I'm a poet here in Orlando, Florida, and the poem that I just spit is based on a true story. I'm an educator for Orange County Public Schools, and I wanted to kind of dive into the topic a little bit of some of the struggles that our youth have in today's society. I have a student that is dealing with a lot of issues, and she's currently struggling with trying to just be a kid, just to have that experience. She's worried about, helping her mom pay the bills and, stay afloat. And it's something that I think needs to be brought in awareness. We need to have these conversations about what are our students dealing with, what are our youth, having to encounter. So it's something very passionate to me. I work with the youth here in Orlando, have a nonprofit called Exodus United, and I really just want to get the message out. I think that we need to have more conversations about not just what our students need to learn, but also what are the things that they're dealing with that we need to first address before we can even try to teach them specific content in the classroom. Kids are hungry, kids don't have fun. They have issues outside that impact their mental health, and it's really important. So I just wanted to spit that piece for y'all. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure that you just staying in tune with what's going on, and peace, love, and poetry.
Okay. What inspires you to write?
So I feel as though almost every situation that I encounter in real life inspires me to write. I don't typically write about things that I hear about, but that I directly experience. I do a lot of community work, and in the schools and in different shelters and things like that, direct experiences that I have that I feel are unjust, that I feel need to be vocalized. I try to write about them to use my voice as a catalyst for change. So I just get inspiration from day-to-day life.
How does your love for music and performing, writing affect your poetry?
I feel like I have kind of a hip-hop kind of stance. I also rap a little bit and make music. I think that it impacts my cadence and my delivery, because I like to call it flowetry. Sometimes I freestyle and things of that nature, but I think hip-hop has a big influence, particularly on my style. I like to kind of incorporate those elements when I perform, and with my body language or my deliverance. So it impacts me. I think also the content, as far as the songs, and as far as the messages that certain artists that I listen to and that I absorb, their messages, they come out as well through my poetry and through my artistry and my songs altogether. So, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how your college experience and some of the groups you were a part of helped strengthen your poetry from this group?
Well, I actually started off college in Virginia, Norfolk. I mean, I'm from Miami, but I had went there for a few years, and I was in a group called Floetic Movement. Floetic Movement was comprised of poets, rappers. Actually, Masego was in my group, which was really dope because he's huge now. You know, shout out to him. But I really feel like it influenced me because it gave me an outlet. When I went to UCF, then transferred, I was involved in Project Spit. And I just been involved in different organizations, Teens with a Purpose, The Right, you know, different things that have helped me to kind of express myself and have confidence, have self-esteem, and to give me fresh perspectives of different ways that I can express myself and utilize my outlet to make a change through my artistry. So I give shout outs to all the leaders and all the people behind and the sponsors that helped to make that possible.
What is it about working with the youth that really drives you?
I was them. I mean, I was a 16-year-old kid who was disowned by his my non-biological father, and I needed an outlet, so I didn't basically lose it. I didn't basically ruin and end my own life. I went through a period in my middle school years where I was battling depression. I had attempted suicide when I was in 6th grade, and I needed an outlet, and I needed people to hear me. I need them to hear me now. And I had a leader, 2 leaders. One was shot and killed in North Miami, rest in peace, well, the real one, trained me every single day. And I had another leader as well that trained me, and they believe in me, and they took me to schools and to jails and art institutes, and you know, they gave me a chance to touch others. So I said, look, I have to be the one to continue the legacy. Like, if somebody did it for me, I have to do it for them. It is my calling, it is my duty, it is my obligation. Because if I feel as though if I don't do it, who will? I think everybody has this mentality of like, oh, well, he'll do it. Oh, well, she'll do it. Nah, I'm gonna do it. So I try my best no matter what I'm going through personally, you know, doesn't matter. I try to make sure that I show up. I show up every day for these kids because I have a duty to help kids that I haven't even met yet. These kids are struggling. They're going through lots of things that us as adults experience, and, you know, it's harder for them. So I feel like they help me. They give me hope. They motivate me. And I was them. So how can I not do what was done for me? Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Exodus United. What is your mission when it comes to that initiative?
Yes. So Exodus United is a nonprofit organization that I started in 2015. It originally started as a pilot program at the Coalition for the Homeless. I used to go every other week with the homeless men and women, and we had a program called Speak Out. We would get the homeless individuals to spit poetry, to articulate their thoughts. We even published a book, an anthology of their work. But I decided to start a nonprofit called Exodus United, and, you know, I wanted to work with the specific demographic of youth. We then, you know, started to go forward, and we did multiple programs. You know, we've done poetry programs, hip hop programs, art camps. We've done a theater production, and my goal is to basically allow the youth to express themselves through positive outlet. I want to have this organization comprised of arts and education programs that directly impact and improve the youth's self-esteem, their mental health, you know, their ability to be confident, to know who they are, to be self-aware, and to feel as though they can take initiatives of leadership. I think a lot of times youth are silenced. They're told to be quiet, sit down, not say anything, not have a voice. They're told that they're too young to have thoughts. They're too young to have opinions, but we know that it's not true. Our elders can learn from our young people. Every day I learn from my youth. So I just want them to tap into their creativity. I don't want to sell them a dream because I think that sets them up for failure. I want to be practical with them and let them know, hey, listen, you also need to work and learn about finances. You also need to learn about financial literacy, you know, something that I'm learning too. But tap into your artistry. This is good for your mental health. You know, express yourself, because at the end of the day, you know, you need an outlet. It's going to come out. It's going to either come out in a deconstructive way or constructive. So I want to try and push them towards constructive. Because as we know, us as a society, as the human race, we have lots of circumstances that we're dealing with that we need to process And poetry is a therapeutic tool. It is healing. It is healing. So I love the opportunity to work with them. I'm very excited about the blessings that God has given me and that I'm gonna even have in the future. And no matter what, I wanna just continue forward because as I said, I feel as though I have a duty to youth that I haven't even met yet. And so it would be selfish of me to go away from that. So every day, I dedicate myself to them.
What inspiration can you give others that's looking to write the way you do, being able to perform the way you do, and being able to just be an inspiration to the youth the way you are? What inspiration can you give them?
I think that a lot of people try to emulate others. They try to reenact other people and they try to almost be like them because they feel like that's what's up to par. Especially when it comes to slam poetry. They compare themselves, you know, they go on YouTube, they look at YouTube channels, they do lots of things, but they don't really, look within themselves and try to find their own voice. I think that it's very important that something that I had to learn and I'm still learning is to spend a little bit of time with yourself and hear yourself. Don't listen so much to everybody else. Listen to yourself because when you oversaturate your mind and your ears with too many other poets and rappers and artists, you start to sound like them unintentionally, but we lose you. So I say spend some time with yourself. I say ask yourself, what is your purpose? Why do you write? If your voice had the ability to change a law, if your voice had the ability to bring someone back from the dead, why is it that you write? What is your goal when you spit your poems? Is it just to get some snaps? Is it to change someone's mind? Is it to make them rethink what they're about to go do? Like, what is it that, what is it? What is the real purpose? And once you know your purpose, once you know why you write, everything that you do will be a force that will be behind that. So I think that it's a journey, and I think that we need to spend time in figuring out why is it that we do what we do, or are we just going through the motions because it sounds cool? And if that's the case, nah, change that ASAP, because we have a duty as artists. We have a duty, and we can be revolutionists in the sense of our voice. So, yeah.
What lasting words would you give to the people that's watching?
Never stop. The lasting words are, no matter what you're going through, no matter how much you feel like giving up, you have to every day get up. Even if you don't know how you're gonna go through the day, just get up and allow yourself to just be, just keep pushing. Persistence is key. I have been brought down numerous times, and people a lot of times they give up. They just give up. You see them like a trend. They're doing this for 1 year and then they fall off. And then 2 years they fall off. I've been doing this since I'm 16. I'm 28 years old. If it's in you, don't let nobody, I don't care who they are, family, friend, foe, leader, supervisor, person paying you, don't let anybody steal your gift, because God gave you that gift, and it's your duty every single day to deliver it to the people who need to receive that. So continue forward every single day, period.